Hey everybody, honestly, I've been dealing with the impacts of inflation for the past few months pretty heavily now. Honestly, price gouge and inflation rates has gone up by over 12% in the past 6 months. I've seen this really good compilation really shows off how I feel and really showcases the fact that I'm not the only one that's dealing with this, which I know technically, but no one is talking about it. And I think if we talk about it, that's the first step to, recovering from this. So yeah, let's just get on with it.
No, I can't be the only one, but like me and my family are broke, but we're not like super broke. We're like broke enough to be living paycheck to paycheck and to rely heavily on our WIC card and heavily on me couponing, but we're not broke enough to be on food stamps. And that honestly kind of leaves us in like an awkward place because we definitely could use food stamps and that would help us out like a fuck ton, but we don't qualify for it because we make $500 too much every single year, gross pay.
So yeah, you have to be like dead near poor.
I coupon off 11 different couponing apps and I do physical coupons also. And every now and then, once or twice a month, we go to the food bank. And I'm not making this video for sympathy. I'm not making this for money. I'm making this video because this is how most Americans are currently living. 64% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck right now.
So I'm just sitting here thinking, is anybody else broke as fuck right now like me? I literally yesterday had $1,100 in the bank. And after paying just 3 bills, which is rent, car insurance, and health insurance, and literally going to the grocery store in Walmart, getting 8 fucking items for $125, I am left with a whopping $8.94 for the week until I get paid again. And it is just super stressful. Inflation is just ridiculous. 8 items. Or actually, it might have been 9. I don't fucking know.
Eggs are like $10 where I live.
It wasn't that much in the cart. But I don't know. I just get super stressed out in January because all that extra money I could have had went to Christmas. Any other month, I'm fine because I don't spend all that money. But January, super fucking stressed out right now. So I just don't know if inflation is ever going to go down. I wonder if anything is going to get better. But $8.94. And that, mind you, that is just my half of the rent. My rent's $8.49. Know what you're going to say. $8.49 is cheap. I pay half. My son pays half to stay here. Teach him a little bit of responsibility. But for me and my income, and because I claim 0, because God forbid if I don't claim 0, I'm going to owe the government, I don't get much. And I don't qualify for nothing. So that's a lot for me. But yeah, 3 stinking bills. Almost $1,100. That's not counting the rest of my shit I have all the rest of the month. But anyway, is anybody else there broker than me right now? Let me know.
Yo, living under capitalism is so exhausting. It's like constantly thinking about how groceries are really expensive, gas prices are so high. What if I can't pay my student loans back? Then that's gonna fuck up my credit. And if your credit gets fucked up, then good luck trying to rent a house or buy a car or buy anything, frankly. And then God forbid you would want to buy something nice for yourself. So let's say you want to buy a new TV or clothes, or you want to get, a nice gift for your partner, or you want to go on vacation. Living under capitalism means that you have to literally measure and monitor every dollar that you spend, and then you have to have some kind of rationale for it too. And then people have the audacity to be like, money doesn't buy happiness. Who the hell said anything about buying happiness? People are trying to buy groceries and pay for their health insurance. And you know the fuck what?
You don't really care about buying
things
happiness.
and having money does make people happy.
When we pay our bills, and we're not like worrying
that
about
if you're working
living
class, you don't even
expenses.
deserve to be happy. And that's why there's that constant policing about where does your money go.
Hi. So I just got my second disability denial. You said you were unable to work as of 7/31/2021. 2021. That's when I put this application in. 2021. Because of major depressive disorder, post-traumatic stress disorder, chronic pain from injuries, and generalized anxiety disorder, which is the only thing I have proof of. However, based on evidence in file, we have determined that you can adjust to other work. Well, yes, I can. And that adjustment makes it physically, literally impossible for me to make enough money to fucking survive. I just need
it's just a trap regardless of what. Either you have to deal with it and
the
work or
crazy
be homeless.
thing is that I'm not even asking
America
to stop
does
working.
not want to give
I just
help
need
people give money.
help
They don't want to do that.
so that I can live. And you knew this was gonna happen. We all knew this was gonna happen, right? And I know what you're gonna say. Oh, just try again. But like, literally for what? They only accept information from the last year of your life. And if I go to the hospital right now, I'll fucking lose everything. And I'll lose everything in upstate South Carolina. It's really not. It's not ideal. And then the crazy thing is that my entire work history is proof that I cannot work. Like, I've been trying for a decade. I cannot do it. Like, I literally change jobs
get
every
like a
3 to
disability
6
advocate,
to 9 months.
and they can really
Why?
help you
because I
get
get
approved for
overworked
disability.
and
I really
underpaid
recommend
and
it.
overwhelmed, and I either get
Because
fired
the
because I'm
government
not
denies people
performing,
all the time
or
unless you take
I have
them
a
to
complete
court,
fucking
or you
mental
get a
breakdown, end up in the
disability
hospital, lose everything, and have to start completely from scratch again. But this time, the goalposts have been moved back a little bit because my credit is worse or I have an eviction on my record. So now that I've adjusted to not allowing myself to be overworked, I've managed to keep myself out of the hospital and out of jail for the last couple of years. I've managed to keep myself mostly sober. I haven't been binge drinking like I used to. I genuinely have no options. Oh God. Like, I'm gonna die soon because I genuinely cannot afford to live. Like, when I say I'm gonna die soon, it's not because I'm gonna do it. It's because this fucking system.
And I've been seeing cases like this a lot in my area.
Well,
and I live in a high
I had an
area,
eye-opening experience with my son this weekend. So my son graduated from college 6 months ago. And when he graduated, he was going to move back in with us so that he could find a job here in this local area and save up enough money to move out on his own. Had no problem with that. So it's been about 6 months. He has saved almost every single dime. He works a 40-hour-a-week job. Makes $40,000 a year, which back in my day was sustainable to be able to live. Apparently that's not the case anymore.
Like
you can't like live on $40,000, which makes no sense
like
to
at
me.
least $70,000 a
So
year
we were looking online at Zillow,
Depending
Google,
on where
to
you're
find
located.
apartments
New York,
and houses
like
within his
$200K.
budget. You know, a house to rent because he has a dog. So we said, let's write them all down and let's go check them out because pictures don't tell you what's really going on, y'all. So we drove around to some of these, and I can't even tell you, some of them I didn't even feel comfortable driving down the street. They were in really, really
the cheap apartments
shady
are
parts
in like
of town.
the criminal
Looked
ghettos,
like a war zone.
or
the whole house looked like it was off kilter.
Cheap apartments
a lot
are
of
like
work
in the
to be
back of
like. It
somebody's
just looked like
house,
it
or
should
you
be
have to pay the fucking
uninhabitable.
$3,000 just to
don't
live.
rent this. It should just be tore down, right? And then when we went to apartments, these apartments that were within his price range, and when I say price range, they were still going for like $800 a month. These $800 a month apartments, I didn't feel comfortable with him living in these apartments. Like, when I say those two look like they should have just been torn the hell down, they should have been. The only ones that are decent, like, he found a studio apartment that's in a nice neighborhood, $1,400 for 485 square feet. That is more than my mortgage, right? And then
like 20 years
regular
ago,
apartments, not
those
even like
studio
glamorous
apartments were
apartments,
literally
just
like
one bedroom apartment
$600.
that has normal square
And they're
footage
like fucking
is anywhere from
1,400,
$1,300 to
$1,500
$1,700. We live in Montgomery, Alabama. We're not in a big
Maybe like
metropolitan
$2,000,
area.
$3,000.
I don't understand how the housing market has gotten so donkey, okay? And everybody says, well, then he should just buy a house since it's cheaper, mortgage is less than rent. Well, nobody will give him a mortgage loan because he has no credit. Not that he has bad credit, he has no credit. He didn't want to get into debt. So he doesn't have any credit to show for it. So it's like a lose-lose situation.
And like
I
all the
don't
other
know how
fees
they're
with
living.
the extra like
I don't know if he
$1,000
can
to
move out right now
$10,000,
because I
and
personally
you
don't
gotta
feel
make sure
comfortable
to
with the
pay
places he
extra
can afford
fees when you pay
moving
monthly,
to, and he
which is like
can't
an extra
afford
$1,000
the
a
normal
month,
standard
so.
shit that I would have afforded back when. How are people doing this, and how do we expect our young kids, he's not young, he's 25, but how do we expect our youth to get ahead? I mean, really.
I guess I can say that I can't afford to go out every week with my friends and have dinner.
At the moment, my bank account's depleting, even though I'm working the same. I'm spending the same I was before, but before I was still making and saving money.
Instead of taking my 2 normal coffees, I've just reduced it down to 1.
It's really hard to get out and do social activities.
They've been really pushing it this
or lunch,
year.
or brunch, any food. Yeah.
We are
Like,
not
I used to
shopping
spend
at IGA
140 a
anymore.
month
We're
for
shopping
food,
at
now I have
Aldi.
to spend
We find it
$300 a month for food for the
The
same amount
American
of
dream
items
is
too.
dead. And that's it. It's this kind of home that used to be the end goal for so many people just like me. But now these homes are selling for $655,000. But there's a whole generation that used to be able to buy something like this on a very modest income. So just like many of you, I was raised by 2 baby boomers who made the American dream happen. This house was listed in April of 2023 for $550 grand. But it sold 2 months later for more than $100,000 over asking. But baby boomers, just like my parents, were able to buy this house for just under $300,000. Now, the 3X rule says you shouldn't spend more than 3 times your household income on your house.
It doesn't matter.
So boomers would have only needed a $98,000 household
income
income to buy this home in 2002. Per person, that's $49,000. Now, although that is slightly above average, it's not at all what we have to go through. For millennials to buy this house, you'll need a combined income of $218,000. So each individual will need to earn an income of $109,000. That is more than twice the national average.
I just don't want to do this anymore. It's so cold in here, as you can see. I'm wrapped up in a duvet. My son's got like 3 different layers on.
It's really hard for
everybody
everybody
warm
out here.
It's so cold in here.
Watching that woman's video broke my heart this morning. She said she had to choose between gas and electric, and she ended up choosing electric because she needed to cook for her children to eat, and that the gas, she couldn't afford it. So she was literally freezing and shaking in that video, as you can see. And people are going through a lot in the UK right now. It's not even a joke. It is not a joke, especially when you live in these old houses that were built ages ago. The insulation is bad. I remember when I moved to the UK, I lived in such a house, so renting a proper house was difficult. And Ariella was one, and my son, I was pregnant with my son then. I would hold Ariella shivering like this in front of the heater. The heater is on, but we are still shivering. It's not, the cold was too much. It's not like these houses where we live now, like where I live now. These are one of the newer homes that have been built, well insulated. I use only electric in my house, and when I put on my electric heater, 1 hour, it can last me even the whole night. I don't sleep with heating. My kids sleep with heating. The other day I loaded 100 pounds on my electric meter, and I had cooked that night. I did washing, and then I left my children's heater till morning. By morning, the money had dropped to 60 pounds. I was like, 40 pounds in a day. How are people managing? If you live in Africa, now is the time to help your family that is abroad. If you change 90,000 naira or whatever it is, cedis or rand, and you send them 100 pounds for them to use for their electric or gas bills, they will bless you and thank you. If you live in Africa and you are used to your family members sending you money and they cannot send for you this period, have some compassion. Now is the wrongest time to ask anybody that lives abroad for money. If you do it, you're a murderer. People are going through hell.
Just budgeted my paycheck that I get tomorrow, and I have $317 left over after my bills for 2 weeks. I'm gonna have to be a hermit.
It's very refreshing to see people from the older generation speaking out on this, because a lot of times it feels like the older people are just like, oh, millennials and Gen Z are so lazy they don't want to work for anything. Like, no. We're a very motivated, a very ambitious generation of people, but it's just like this system is extremely fucked.
The same 10 years
There's
ago.
no other way to put it. It's extremely fucked. We're not being put in a position where we can have a prosperous future or a wealthy future because of the position we're in now. You know what I mean? School, hella expensive. Learning a real trade, a real skill, hella expensive. We know about the student debt crisis. And now they're making a simple roof over our heads, housing,
20 years ago.
Wildly expensive. I can't tell you how many friends that graduated college and have good salaries, 60, 70, 80, some of them 100, 150K and more, that are still looking around like, why the fuck is it so hard to own a home? Why are these bullshit apartments so expensive? Why would I pay these people all this money for this bullshit instead of just living with my parents and saving up money? You get what I'm saying? Like, I have friends that are making over $80K a year, great full-time jobs, full benefits, that would rather live with their parents and pay these bullshit apartment complexes to live in bullshit areas with bullshit amenities and bullshit things within the actual home. It's like, it's just so frustrating that we did everything they told us to do. We went to school, we got educated, we worked hard, we did everything they told us to do, and then when we're actually out in the world, they want to charge us $1,800 for a one-bedroom apartment that really ain't shit. And then when they talk about, oh, the future is going to be great for you, you just got to work hard and stay down. How? A lot of people don't have savings. They're spending it all on basic shit, like housing and groceries. And what scares me the most is that more and more people are becoming aware of how fucked it is. And all we do, we record a video, we post it on TikTok, we post it on Instagram, we post it on social media, and then we say, well, I've done my part, and we close out the app, and then we go on about our day. That doesn't fix anything. It amazes me that the government can talk about banning TikTok and all these new things about immigration, but then when it comes to TikTok, providing affordable housing or affordable healthcare for your upcoming generation, the future leaders of this fucking country, y'all don't want to talk about that.
Like, y'all don't want to say anything about that. Literally said, or even, no,
it amazes me that the government will have a whole meeting about banning TikTok when there's been over 100 mass shootings this year alone. Like, the government doesn't give a fuck about us, man.
Like, literally.
But they're making decisions about our lives, bro. Do you know how expensive bullshit apartments are nowadays? And nobody's doing anything about it. We're just talking about it on TikTok and then going about our lives. Like, this shit has to change, or we're all fucked in the future, man. Like, you can't, why do I need to make 3 times?
So guys, that was just a snippet of showing how inflation and price gouging has been affecting not only people in America, but people worldwide. It's so crazy to even hear about poverty and just the increasing of homelessness in different countries. Like, literally Canada is literally dealing with like price gouging right now. Shit is mad expensive and it's getting really bad over there. Places in Europe and especially like Australia, for example, and the UK, people have really been struggling in the UK and America. So this inflation thing, price gouging, is getting crazy. Also, the UK has this thing where they don't accept the American dollar, the American currency anymore. So things are good. Things are heating up over there because that means the export and imports from America, since they can't get that no more, the rates will be higher. The charges will be higher for the UK to import and export foods and goods. So things are getting priced gouged in the UK because of that, and it's just so crazy. And then Biden was like, oh yeah, we're gonna say, I think like up to $30,000, or basically we're gonna like eliminate everybody's student loans. And he was like, oh, never mind, snatchies. Literally in my fucking email, my email was like, oh yeah, Biden, he takes that back. That was an accident, acting like he did the wrong thing for saying he was gonna eliminate our student loans, and then like he just takes it back. That really shows that we cannot trust the government. We cannot trust the president. We really have to, like, it's easy to say we really have to prepare ourselves and basically save money and try our best, but it's not that easy. But yeah, let me know below like how you guys feel, because I'm not struggling right now, but I am feeling the effects of inflation and price gouging, because I had to spend $140 every 2 weeks now for groceries instead of spending $74. I used to spend $140 a month on groceries. Now I had to spend $280 a month. So I just had to like move around my finances and figure things out now and really plan ahead, because everybody's feeling it. Everybody's feeling it. I'm so serious. Like, for example, my dad's apartment, like, they raise up rent every year, right? His apartment is $3,000 and then raise it up to $3,500. We live in an area where those prices are basically like that, and it's really hard to even find like an affordable apartment. So people out here where I'm living in other parts too can't even deal with this stuff. But yeah, let me know below, guys. Bye.